gentlemen, welcome IEM Shanghai 2018 final stage! I'm DX Master, welcome! This is a conversation between gods. It is a battle between men. I asking you guys only one question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it on! Welcome our two teams on the stage from China, TyLoo, and US NRG. Welcome! Right, gentlemen, please be seated and get ready. Please be seated and get ready. And Dad, Coach, come on. Come here, Dad. This time, only one question. Are you ready? Let's go. Remember that? TyLoo! All right. NRG, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
NRG! All right, go big or go home. Make your choice, cause this you time, you moment, nothing can hold us now! Shake hands and the game begins!
I am absolutely speechless. There is nothing that I could possibly say, or any of us could possibly say, to include you viewers at home, that is going to top what that man just did on that stage.
I feel I'm ready to punch someone right now. I mean, I'm ready.
It's like we're pumped up. I mean, talk about controlling a crowd. Like, he had them at, his fingertips the entire time. Just comes up, raises his hands. That's all he needs to do.
Twitch chat, I've got just one question for you. Are you ready? No, I'm kidding. All right. So let's get this thing going. I mean, you can see this crowd. They're amped up.
Ready.
Twitch chat's always amped up, always ready to go. So many poggers. No one will see that I'm talking to the analyst desk over here. Guys, where do we begin on this one? Because, I mean, honestly, both teams have a pretty solid argument for why they could win this. So perhaps we try to lock it down a little bit and make some of those points.
Yeah, so to start off with TyLoo, one of the great things that's going their way is that their individuals are shining. Obviously, they do have the teamwork in place as well, but Bentet so far best rating out of anyone in this tournament. And just, joining him shortly behind is somebody sitting at 2 players in the top 3. And not only that, you've got Execute following, right behind them. They have 3 of their most core, of their core players, pretty much performing at peak performance at this point, and that's what you need going into the finals. I had big question marks for Captain Mole going into this tournament, obviously with his injury and whatnot, but he's performing as well. So TyLoo looking great going into this.
Pimp, we're going to have these videos come out real shortly, so give me what you got on your end.
I mean, NRG for that matter, it's the same sentiment. We have Cirque playing well, we have Nate playing well, we have even Fuckley, like this utility player, this bomb side anchor player playing well for NRG. So it feels like all the players that we're going to see in the server right now is actually hitting their form right now. So in general, I think we're just going to have an explosive game where both teams can go toe-to-toe with each other. Obviously, the big man Cirque going up against Surgery, that's going to be the key duel in this one. I think both these players have played a great tournament so far, and I think Cirque has the higher level normally, but we're going to see whatever that's going to be outlined in this matchup. That's going to be the key matchup between the two teams right here.
Well, it will come down to these map vetoes. Again, where this is a best of 3 to claim this Intel Extreme Masters title. It could be 3 maps, it could be 2 maps. UOENO, one might say.
No surprises in seeing Nuke and Dust 2 being removed. Overpass, Mirage, the 2 first maps, 2 of their comfort picks for both of them. We did say that TyLoo, they didn't pick Mirage against VP, and that was a little bit surprising. They did end up losing their own map pick in that series, so good to see they're back to Mirage. That's where the strength is. That's where they're one of the best teams in the entire world. That's where I'm going to see NRG having a tough time on that one, Halvor.
Yeah, and as for the third map, you're looking for teams to be as comfortable as possible going into this. Both teams like playing Inferno. I don't see TyLoo letting through Train in this kind of scenario. We saw what NRG did to Gambit, and Gambit was enough of a task for TyLoo going into this in the in their previous matchup as well. So them videoing it out Inferno, letting it go to Inferno, videoing out Train, letting it go to Inferno. I think that's a good choice for both sides, really. I think this is 100% the best map pool we could have gotten for a grand finals.
Well, we do have our map choices. Going to be Overpass, Mirage, followed by a little bit of Inferno, and we could talk about win conditions all day. But what are some things that are going to slow down either side of this train?
Well, I mean, for TyLoo, this is something we've seen with any team that goes up against NRG on Overpass. They're going to have a real struggle actually getting onto bomb sites. Actually, just getting a bomb plant versus NRG on this map is extremely hard. That AD defense of Cirque and Fugly is almost impenetrable. You have to use so much utility to just even get close. Like, in order to get restroom control, you're pretty much expending 90% of what you have. So whatever execute you have, if you haven't found early picks, at that point, you're going to have issues actually just making it forward. Same thing goes for the B-bomb side. I think Daps has been playing really well so far in this tournament, and he also has Ethan, who always has that extra level within him to basically hold down a bomb site on his own. TyLoo are going to have such a difficult task at actually just being able to deal with NRG's Overpass in general.
They're going to have to rattle them out. They're going to have to come up with something new we haven't seen before. And that's one of the things that the Chinese scene and the Asian scene can do in this scenario. We often talk about it like when you play in Europe, you play against NA guys. It's sort of like the same play style. They're kind of adopting that in NA. Like, we bring up a lot of European players to NA in order to educate them and get them better, basically. That's how it works, Trace. That's how you
Charity
do it.
work.
Anyway, we don't do that with Asia yet, right? So they have their own style of play, and that's something that can rattle you out sometimes when you play an Asian team, because you don't exactly know what to expect. You don't really understand the rotation. You don't understand the decision-making sometimes, and that can rattle you out a little bit. And that's what TyLoo needs to do. They need to play their own game. They can't try to play the structured, the slow game. They need to be on. They need to be hitting it hard. They need to be aggressive in order to rattle out NRG on Overpass. Otherwise, they stand no chance at all.
Well, you talk about the energy. There's a hell of a lot of energy in this place. This crowd is electrifying. Now, with that said, energy, a lot of these players can no longer be considered the rookie season, so to say. But will it play into a factor here, this crowd standing behind this TyLoo team?
I think it actually might, because, I mean, even obviously the minors play without a crowd, but just the fact that them being labeled as favorites going into that qualifier weighed on them pretty heavily. Now, I would still say they are labeled by most as a favorite going into this grand finals. Now you add the addition of a crowd that's not going to be exactly favorable to you. They're going to be very much rooting for TyLoo, which makes sense. So you have just the initial pressure of playing as a favorite, which is a very different kind of game in itself from playing it as an underdog, and then the crowd working against you at any given time. And these guys are loud enough for you to just feel the rumblings in your chairs as you're sitting out there on the stage. I think that could be an issue for NRG, so they need to make sure that if they get off to a rough start, not get flustered. If you have to, take a lot of timeouts early on. Just make sure that you settle your nerves and make sure you follow whatever game plan you've drawn up for this map. I think the first map for them in many senses is going to be extremely vital, because if they get off to a rocky start on Overpass, which has been such a solid pick for them, that could bleed into the rest of the series.
And I think that's a key point to make, as you just said, using the overtime wisely. You know, Amapit is not normally a guy that is necessarily known for taking a lot of timeouts. He does it when he feels it needed, right? But as you said, sometimes you just need to take a timeout, calm down, talk about what happened, what's going to happen in the next round, instead of just playing the flow. In that sense, I said it, you know, TyLoo needs to come out aggressively, they need to come out fast, and if you want to stop that, take some timeouts, slow down the game, and make sure to talk about it, because as you said, it is still a young team, NRG. They are the favorites going into this one. They are by far the better team if you look overall, player by player. But if you don't stand for the pressure, you're gonna win it.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, they say, which has absolutely no relevance to this whatsoever.
Or
Now,
you, for that matter.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Jacob, you'll be here for at least the rest of the day, and then that might be the last time anyone's ever heard from you. Now, let's talk about some things that could go down here on Overpass. Perhaps the AWP side of things. Now, is that going to have a big impact for either of these teams?
I mean, we outlined the duel. I feel Zerg against Surturate is going to be the biggest duel in this game, especially on Overpass. And that's because Zerg is such a great Overpass player in general. I've never seen a guy dominate a map that much with the AWP. He feels so comfortable in all the positions he's in. He's playing the A side together with Fuckley, as you said, and it feels like Fuckley is doing everything he can to make it easy for him. He's flashing for him, he's taking all the confident peek for him, and he has the freedom to do whatever he wants because he knows Fuckley is going to stand behind on the bomb side and close it down whenever it's needed for, right? So he has that confidence, is not only himself, but also his teammates, and that's a big thing going into a map like this. Not only do you believe in yourself, but you also believe in the guy behind you. So if you do mess up, if you do make a bad play or something like that, he still knows he has the team to carry up for that.
Yeah, and he's also not only, you know, as I mentioned, he's comfortable on the entire map. He's just a very good Overpass player, not just a good A player. So you'll see him probably, you know, multiple times during this matchup switch around as to where he actually opts to go aggressive. He'll easily take monster peaks and so on the CT side of things. And on the side of TyLoo for Excurate, I think one of the most important things for them is obviously not to play scared. You need to get up in their grill. Even though there is a pretty, you know, set way of playing for NRG that's not necessarily, you know, crazy aggressive or anything like that, you need to have guys like somebody, DD, and Excurate actually being up in their faces to really disrupt what's going on the side of NRG.
Guys, I've just gotten the word that we're 1 minute away from kicking this off. Now, with that said, let's get some predictions from you guys, and let's get right to the point on it.
I'm going to decide, at least for Overpass, that's going NRG's way.
I'm going to go the full way. Overpass is going to go for NRG, no doubt. TyLoo is going to win Mirage. We're going to have Inferno as the third deciding map. It's going to be double OT. NRG ends up as the winning team.
Easy.
Damn.
Damn.
Put a lot of stock in that one, did you, Jacob? I mean, I guess it could go all 3 maps. This could have that potential as a series, so to say, because both these teams playing about on par with each other right now. And in fact, I'm going to have to ask you at home, the viewer, to get involved on social media using hashtag IEM. Tell me who you think is going to win, or just tell Pimp and Vedetta how you really feel about them. That's completely okay, too. It's almost time to jump into this game, and I can't think of a better duo to make this happen. We've got one Canadian, we've got one Australian. Neither one have seemingly lost their way, but only have lost their minds thus far. However, they are the most qualified to make this happen. With that, there's a $125K payout for first place and a reality check for second. Boys, let's get it on with this grand final, TyLoo versus NRG.
It is a scary thought, Trace, that we are in fact the most qualified to bring you this final, but here we are nonetheless. TyLoo versus NRG, and we start on Overpass. We start with the home team on the defense first.
Yeah, getting to pick the side here on NRG's map choice, opting for some aggression over towards Underpass. 3 members scuttling down there, and Fuggly is the man to deal with that. He'll be pushing up nice and slowly with 1 in tow of Breezy just behind, but 3 CTs in such a close corridor here. They're not expecting this. There's no information for their A players at all, and they don't need it because it will be the play. And Fuggly's going to take damage. They're not going to check this corner. They're not going to expect so many players to pop on out. DD opens the account here. First kill on the board. And the second for Excurate as the B bomb side is where they want to run into. But all of the players for TyLoo are over here now in the sewer, and they know that. They're going straight to A. This is a great mid-round call by NRG, running for a bit of a loop.
Yeah, reverse sides. CTs go back through connector. They have to take over bathrooms. It's almost like we're watching them on the terrorist approach, trying to take the site, but instead bomb will be planted safe side of the box by Daps. That gives them the stairs at both bank and the dumpster to work with. Daps trying to get toward long, quickly realizes going down. They've all come from that direction. It is beneficial to his 2 teammates, but so too would him being alive, because now they've got to work off this and trade it at 2 versus 4. Each needing a kill, and somebody's already on the defuse. He's got the kit. Cirque finds a kill. He finds 2, in fact, but that's not nearly enough, given that the round is already gone.
I really like that approach by TyLoo here. Now, this is a map that they struggle on. They don't really play. They definitely don't pick. The last time this 5-man roster played it was IEM Sydney 2018 where they beat Cloud9 16-14, I believe. And the fact that they take such a huge gamble on the pistol round to stack over 3 players towards the underpass and 2 over towards Suo is a great gamble. I think they definitely need to take those kind of risks, and the pistol rounds is the place to do it. When we get to that first gun round, I hope we see more similar scenes, more plays along that kind of vein, because this is a great way to rattle NRG. You can really play outside of your shell. This is NRG's comfort pick in a way. If you can make them feel a little bit flustered early on a grand final stage with a lot on the line where they are, on paper, definitely the favorite. It's a good way to make these younger guys, these up-and-comers from the North American region, feel not so at home. It's going to be the A play. They have just a couple of pistol upgrades, so no armor or grenades behind to help, and Execute with the scout, gonna tag up, take a kill, throw a flash and pop on back. The rotation will come in. Bentet's there. Somebody will be on the scene very shortly. Doesn't look like they want to commit into this one. Circle will be going for some bathroom control, and the bomb on Daps' back will be heading back over towards the B bomb site.
When was the last time you saw 4 FAMASas and a scout? That's like literally the most secondary buy in its essence.
Yeah, so I suppose the prep here in a lot of ways is so when we do get to that first gun round, which will be next round because of only the pistol upgrade here, NRG will be able to get AKs or Galils in the next, that you want to have rifles if you're TyLoo. And I think if we take note, just quickly, DD had 2 kills last round, and that was with the CZ2, and they had a $100 kill bonus, meaning he couldn't invest into the M4. Execute with 1, and he's the long distance player. But hold up, this got quite interesting with 2 big kills opening up onto the B bomb site here for NRG. They should be able to get the bomb down, and that's a huge round.
Only to plants, so it'll be 2 straight bomb plants for NRG, as you mentioned, meaning they'll have lots of money in the next round. Without the armor on Fugly as well, he's obviously saved enough to be ready to buy. He'll go down, Cirque, but Fugly still has the sight. 2 players left. Damage onto Execute. He knows one's dropped in. He knows the situation as to which side he's going to come from, and he suddenly finds himself in a one-on-one with Bintet, but misread the fact as he was fighting the previous player that Bintet had already dropped in, because otherwise he could have played that around the boards quite easily.
I thought we were going to have another repeat of where we left off with that Virtus Pro map, back and forth rounds that teams should never be losing, just going down the drain, and TyLoo by the skin of their teeth there. Bentet getting the defuse, the star, the highest rated player in the whole tournament. Putting that one on the board, putting that one in the bank, and raising the account of TyLoo early here. This is where they have to reinvest. So because they lost so many guns, there is a bit of a drama if you are on the likes of TyLoo. See, weapons are going to have to get...
Well, now you have to reinvest, but you know as well, they've
got
went for
another
rifles,
plan.
and
Yeah.
they've got exactly 2 plants. They're going to have AKs themselves. This is back against the wall in some ways already for TyLoo. Economically, obviously, early in not only the map, but very early in the series.
It's another gamble again, having 4 players leaning over towards that B bomb site at the start of the round. If you look towards the top left of your screen on the mini-map, you can see 4 players clustered over there, with Execute the only guy getting information on that A bomb site, and it's a great read, it's a great call. That does appear to be where most aggro will be taken early from NRG. Just want to grab that sewer control, and the reason that Connector and sewer are so important, Matt, is it allows you to late round fake. It gives you that avenue to go between the bomb sites very quickly, and you know, put the CTs for a bit of a spin. And when the utility is low, we did note that with TyLoo, this does play quite a large factor. They're not able to throw those late Molotovs unless they'd be quite stingy with their nades early, and that appears to be the case because Execute, Somebody, and Bentet still have 3 nades in hand that are able to slow down an attack onto either bomb site. Molotovs and smokes are perfect for that.
Yeah, in a class of their own, and I guess defensive utility, we could call them.
Imagine if we had a stat for that.
Cool.
We're going too deep down the rabbit hole, aren't we?
Well, depends. Depends on the audience, I suppose. Daps starts to cover off the bathrooms. He's the one with the bomb, interestingly enough, but he'll be the first to swing. So if he goes down, that bomb stays in the open, specifically given his trajectory when he gets shot. It would continue with momentum to fly forward. They are going to go anyway. He's already at the stairs, jumps up, smoke down. He's going to commit to the plant early. No gap in that smoke. He'll be covered off, but no one really fighting forward to try and cover him off and get away with it. It'll be a retake and a lineup. Bintet with 2. Cirque and Ethan pull it back, but look at Bintet go a third for him. He's very low. In fact, both are DD with 19, Bintet with 1, and 100 HP for both Cirque and Breezy, but DD finds one of the 2, making this entirely possible if they can find the trade. Bathroom, the obvious position. He's already tagged through the wall. That will discourage him from going for the peak. Smoke down. He wants to find the lineup first before they get on it. Single bullets to spray through would do it, but Bintet with 4 kills on 1 HP, and TyLoo will take the round.
really thought that was smart play there from Cirque, dropping that smoke, expecting them to tap the defuse, thinking he would rotate around and he could just spam through and pick up a kill while they're on low HP. But they knew the danger. They knew the fact that if they were to give them a free kill, they could both drop. And at that point, Cirque grabbing an easy 1-on-2 situation. Interesting to note, when you are attacking that late onto the bomb site and Daps is the first man that you see, that bomb shows up on the radar. That rotation's instantly coming in. 25 seconds left on the clock when I think they finished or at least got stuck into that attack. So TyLoo automatically knew they could rotate in. Interestingly enough to note, NRG with all the damage that they've been able to put in over the last few rounds is opting to buy again. So it's going to be a bit of a mangled situation with the Galil, UMP, AK on the board so far. Fugly can get an AK with a little bit of utility, and same as Cirque, but if there is a strat that Daps wants to call, if there's a set piece, maybe they'll have to take a few sacrifices by lesser weaponry, but that's not the case. They want the firepower over the utility. And Xcurate is only able to grab a scout. Somebody on the FAMAS. I've seen a lot of those early, as you noted. That's unusual. We don't tend to see so many FAMASes in modern day meta of Counter-Strike. This looks like it's going to be the default spread. Breezy over towards the playground. Cirque at the T stairs. 2 players going through connector to grab control. Ethan babysitting the backyard of B, just making sure nobody can take too much territory. And standard things over on the TyLoo side. No real aggression. They've already absconded toilet control. They're not even spotting deep long. They're just playing very reserved from the bomb site. They don't want to get overrun, assuming pistols would come in. Because you would be thinking an eco is most likely. And you don't want to play too up close and personal against the pistols, but it will be a relatively quick A play.
So Bintet behind boxes. Shot back from the AK, manages to find Cirque, but he loses Xcurate in the process, and Daps, taking no prisoners, runs immediately around the default box, finds the headshot with the UMP. That allows Ethan and Fugly to cover off toward the dumpster. They do that twice, in fact, by getting Captain Mo. He finds only 1 kill, and that therefore means, do the math, we've got more NRG players left at the end of the round. It's their first 3-1.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about in terms of keeping pressure on the economy, and they've done exactly that. That pistol upgrade round with so many kills and the bomb plant, and then the 2v1 with Cirque, and then once again, the force buy into the round win has forced TyLoo onto an eco. Captain Mo will be grabbing a defuse kit. Oh, they're going for the force buy. They don't want to give this one up without too much of a fight. They want to stay in it. They want to stay aggressive. They want to stay hungry as 5 CZs are on the board. Not the easiest of maps to use them on, especially with the early long-range duels that are possible, but 2 players will be going down into the underpass, and Fugly is sitting all the way back, so don't have to worry about dueling him too early.
So Daps goes out toward long. A single win. And the gun's gone for TyLoo. Daps will, in fact, take his approach elsewhere, so he doesn't want to walk all the way around toward the rocks with just the SMG to work with. Self-flash. Not really time for that, but he'll get a second one to allow him further. Makes a lot of noise running toward Bintet. Obviously, being on the MAC-10, they want to send him first.
Yeah, the only problem I see here, Matt, as we get closer to this potential duel between the two, is unless they have a protocol in place of what they're going to happen if Daps falls, then they can just get picked apart one at a time, and a lot of territory can be taken from TyLoo. Xcurate also about to get into a duel from the underpass, but Flash comes in, he pushes out, and he'll go down. So now, where's the reaction? How do they go? Do they try and chase down Bintet? And if they do, he has head armor.
Fugly, though, does get the shot on him with the AK, so both of them prevailing in their duels. The MAC-10 drop will not amount to much, and Breezy has to just watch off from the party. Toward the stairs, does exactly that. Somebody's down, and Didi and Captain Mo rotate in toward A, but have a large task in front of them, given that they're both on pistols. They nearly get some help. Cirque actually fires through the back of Breezy's head to get the kill, but it's just Mo remaining. Although he's got some players that are low. Okay, Ethan gone. He does have to reload a CZ, which takes some time. He's gone. NRG find their second.
Interesting that Bintet opted to go to the MAC-10, knowing that he was versing head-armored players, right? The CZ at that range, even though it's going to take you, all those bullets, that thing fires real quick, and probably better than the MAC-10 in that scenario, but that's the little details. And curious as well, we didn't see Captain Mo pick up a deagle. We were absolutely blown away by his prowess on that weapon against VP, especially on train, just kept hitting some absolute bangers. But this is where TyLoo, they have to concede. They have to go down to that eco situation. They know that they need to start putting the pennies in the bank account to get up the AWPs, get up all the utility that they need to defend against NRG. Once again, Daps leading the charge. The in-game leader in certain teams, and I was one of those back in my playing days, like to be out in front. So that way you can relay the information as quickly as possible and tell your teammates what to do. Even if you do die, what you've got is enough to make a decision. Whereas if you send someone else in to do the job, they might not do it the way you need them to do it, and they might not relay that information correctly. Whereas this way, you know, it's one of those things, man, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Yeah, except cooking. Because I'll definitely mess that up more than most others.
I tried to cook pasta, man. I couldn't even do that. I boiled over the bloody pot.
Okay, I thought Daps was going to overlook that completely. I know your pain. I can burn water. That's how talented I am with cooking. Ethan, Mac 10, wants to try and clear all angles. Does find somebody, but watch out because unfortunately looking that direction and firing for that long. 2 players peek behind him. It's all for naught. It's all to figure out the information. He gets that by spotting those 2 others, and therefore bomb goes down on B for free. They're confident in doing so. Cirque will hold off toward jungle. Breezy will hold up on catwalk. Been tagged already by a nade that does tremendous damage considering he has no armor. Put him down to 22 in this round. Done in itself.
It's going to be interesting right now because Exura only has 1,900 in the bank. Obviously, they get that 2,400 loss bonus.
You would want him on the op, though, wouldn't you, the way he's played this event?
Bentet has 3,250, which means he'll probably have to drop the AWP over. Another kill there would have definitely helped the bank account. But yeah, as we're saying, and as we've noted, his proficiency on the AWP, that's been a way that a lot of kills have been happening. He's leading the charge in terms of opening kills to the tournament. He's leading the charge in terms of AWP kills. Obviously, they played quite a lot of rounds when we had all those overtime games against VP, but that still factors in. A couple of other key notes, I guess, looking at TyLoo matching up against NRG. In terms of the trading, TyLoo's leading the tournament, 27%, and then NRG are number 2 at 23%. So it's a little discrepancy there, nothing too huge.
Somebody flashed in. It's aggressive toward the fountain. He'll need support from Bintet. He has that, watching over from exactly this position. The stairs to make sure his backside's not going to be covered in bullets from an AK, namely from Breezy. Daps with a deep flash. Bintet finds one. They now know the setup. Daps reads it, but Bintet trades it. Exactly what they needed out of that situation. Great read from Bintet as well, knowing he'd already won the duel to the right side, needed to get back over and cover the exact fight that Daps wanted to issue. It works out in favor of TyLoo, but now they have to fall back, which leaves a long rotation. Naturally, therefore, NRG read that, know that it's going to take them some time to get to B, and they'll go for a contact play, trying to clear the 2 players, at the very most, that are in this site, at least according to their anticipation. Smoke's down. Didi wants to get above them. Bomb goes in. Captain Mo finds Ethan. Bomb denied by Didi. Good read, good push, and Excurate with the AWP finds Fugly.
Denying that plan is very important as we move forward in this half. Right now, NRG have no problems buying, but if they deny these plants, if they stop them from getting those bombs down and they keep obliterating the attack while keeping 3 alive, 3 is the magic number, TyLoo can build that bank while devastating NRGs. It's going to take some time. Doesn't happen quickly. But they did get the AWP up, and now, finally, we have decent enough utility. Last round, they got it done with just the aim and 2 big kills from the Indonesian superstar Bentet. Now, they're opting for that 4B play again. TyLoo are gambling on the fact that maybe a pace change comes out from NRG early and they try contact, they try an explosion onto that B bomb site. It's not to be the case. Maybe if the buy was lower, maybe if you weren't working with so much utility, I think that might have been an appropriate call, but it's just going to be that default spread. Underpass control, sewer control, Breezy babysitting A, making sure no one can push, get too aggressive, get too much information. But a lot of aggression here from Cirque. He pushes all the way up to sandbags. Will get spotted out. And the monster push from Captain Mo's gone undetected. He's going to grab one, trade it out immediately. The 4v4 right now. Let's see if TyLoo opt to re-aggress, because we know that the number advantage tends to go in the favor of the Ts. They're able to spread that CT defense quite thin. And from there, isolate and find more gaps, find more duels where they have a number advantage. If they collapse on a bomb site, they can give themselves a 4v2 duel, and that means multi-kills have to come in from the TyLoo defenders if they want a chance. Here we go. It's going to be the B hit. Smokes and flashes will come in. This is just looking like a double pump. They want to bait out any residual utility of TyLoo.
Flash timing from Didi is important. The problem is that they can't peek immediately toward Monster. Somebody has to hold a catwalk, so all it really does is slow them down for a second. Somebody, that's good enough. He'll go around, jumping. Reminds me of my COD 4 days, the way he jumps and guns isn't as Setch, but a good hold from NRG to spot him and take him down immediately, and Excurate not quite ready for Cirque to peek. He knew exactly the angle he wanted, and it's NRG tying us back up on 4.
4 big kills from Cirque. Curious decision-making from somebody. We know he's a very aggressive player. We know he likes to get in the face. We know he likes to play these disruptive positions, but after getting one, and his teammate fell, he needed to make a multi-kill there. Wanted to throw a spanner in the works, but the only spanner that's been thrown is that for TyLoo, as now they have to opt for another pistol upgrade. Mo will get on that Deagle. See if he can hit some of those absolutely blistering shots he was hitting earlier. DD upgraded into Kevlar and a CZ, P250 in the hands of Excurate, and then Bentet and somebody are just left on the USPs. Look, we've seen some crazy rounds happen this tournament, especially with TyLoo in the server, so I'm not going to count them out of anything. And they do want to put a bit of pressure on the B babysitter of Ethan here. And they're going to take sewer control. It's caught with a bad timing. He could lose his head, but very cautiously will drop all the way back. And I think he had the perfect timing for that. So right now, NRG just want to go about this rounds, crossing their T's, dotting their I's, making sure they don't run into any stacks, making sure they use their weaponry advantage. It's a very slow approach, methodical, what you expect on a map like Overpass. One of the more strategic that we have left in the pool.
Yep. Map I was not at all a fan of when it first came out. They did go through a number of iterations.
Huge amount of changes, really. Do you know the thing, Matt? I never played a competitive match on the original Overpass because we just banned it in Australia. It's like,
was not great.
We're not even going to touch this.
Connector from long went straight to front bathroom. For a while, it was both. There was just a square there that kind of differentiated between the two. It's used to go straight here. This hallway, good hold from DD. CZ, Cirque gets him in response, but that's 2 kills. As Cirque now goes to the AWP, this suddenly becomes possible for TyLoo, and they're going to rotate over, knowing the situation with 27 seconds. There's time enough to get there. They also had the information because Captain Mo was pushed so far forward and gets in behind the connector. Breezy and Daps, though, seem to control things at least for now. Bintet locked off toward jungle. Daps makes his presence known, and Breezy, after planting the bomb, gets in position to find him. Now they just have to anticipate Mo's arrival. No armor, aim, punch a factor. AK in hand, he may have spotted him, does look for the headshot, needs to find the headshot before in turn being spotted, and didn't know that Daps was at the same position or roughly thereabout.
It looked like TyLoo had a lot of reluctancy to fight together as the B attack finally came in. Players were holding in positions where they could have swung and dueled together and made it a little bit more difficult, but it just felt one at a time, was too easy for those AK-47s to pick up the kills. Also there, Ben said at the end, if he just had lived a little longer, just pestered maybe a little bit more, would have allowed Captain Mo to come on the flank and would have given him a chance to not be isolated in that scenario. When there's one player left, the pressure kind of drops a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of choke points for him to be coming from, but process of elimination. And they make the kill. Put another round on the board. We're looking at 5 for NRG, 4 for TyLoo. It is NRG's pack.
Yes,
pack
exactly
pick.
That. Map pick, yep.
Map pick.
With Mirage coming up next, picked by TyLoo, remember. Both of these teams have never won an IEM tournament. For NRG, as a new organization, that might be less surprising. For TyLoo, they've been in a final 8 years ago and now find themselves here again. That was also an interesting tournament in 2010 because the Na'Vi match against Fnatic actually was played out over the course of 2 days due to the ChinaJoy rules of having to be out of here at a very set time at the end of the day. And there was actually 2 TyLoo teams that played off in the other semifinals, so there was guaranteed to be a TyLoo in the final based on the fact that they had ties in the group stages. Na'Vi finished second with a 1-win and 2-tie record. Fugly, meanwhile, out past Fountain, will work toward the bathrooms. Smokes go down both in front of the main door and in front of the connection to the bathroom. So they'll wrap back through to sewers. Excurate is forward, and an uncharacteristic miss for him on the AWP. In fact, I take that back. It was not a miss. He hit Breezy. It just wasn't a killing blow. Daps tries to make direct contact, runs through smoke, bit brave. Gives them some room to work with, though, given that they have that information as to where they were on catwalk. Toward Monster, they'll work in. As Fugly wants to go over top. Molotov down, knows they're punched up toward the pit. Can't get the second, but Ethan following in the same position. Bintek, good response. What a quick reaction from Cirque because bomb went down. Bintek could have won the round. They're alone, and somebody will.
The flick there, I thought Cirque was on. He's been feeling it early. Just to note, people thinking, oh, that kill, Daps ran in on his own. Daps is the in-game leader. I know from an in-game leader perspective, when you make that opening kill that early in a round on a map like Overpass, you make a call. Now, I don't know what they've named it within their team. throughout Australia, throughout the teams I played in, we had two styles, Matt. When you made that opening kill as the in-game leader, you either said American, which means get stuck in, just run on in, boys, we're going in. Or Euro, funnily enough, means slow it down and play it smart. Daps just ran in, which means he made the call to commit onto that B bomb site. You could see how delayed the other players were to get on there with him. He made the kill came in, he immediately made the call, but it takes a minute or two because that wasn't the original strategy. That wasn't the original plan. They got lucky with that opening kill, and he's made a mid-round decision, a mid-round call. It needs to be committed on as quickly as possible. But that's a big round for TyLoo, but the reset potential is there. That's the biggest issue for them right now.
Absolutely. Excurate goes back onto an AWP. These trades were hairy. That's a scary thought, too, because he's firing actually through the cement.
Yeah.
Imagine that deterred the damage just enough to allow the op to get the shot.
He's on fire, man. 15 kills right now. Cirque is lighting it up.
Not far behind. Breezy's on 10. Bintet leads the way for TyLoo. Guam intentionally dropped into the abyss, according to the minimap, but it's back toward T-spawn. And they'll hold up very passively on the NRG side, knowing well that, as you said, this is a potential reset round. So let's play it as methodically as we can. The boost gets good for one, but Daps immediately coming back out is able to trade perfect headshot from the AK-47 and trades favor the offense. This is why they went slow. They wanted to figure out the information, dissect it, take them down, and limit them early because they know, first off, they don't have much money now, but they definitely won't in the next round. Excurate, last line of defense in B. AWP finds one, knows they're inside of the site. Whoa, what a reaction to find Cirque. Bintet swings in. What a round. Excurate, ballsy, but makes it work.
It's a huge kill, and like you said, ballsy. For an AWP player to get in close when he knows how far away his support is, do or die in that situation, a really big shot, a pressure shot to make in a pressure environment. Now, I like the decision-making from NRG to go for the strat, which I assume they were trying to build in the previous, and run it again. It almost worked. It's a very close round. The pressure is still there. It's still applied on TyLoo's economy, and you can see that by the buy. The FAMAS coming out. That's where the decision-making being used right now in this pause is very important. Do NRG continue to apply the pressure? Do they go for a force buy of their own? It looks like it's just going to be a pistol upgrade. Ethan's got a P250. Fugly's now buying in as well. It may even just be P250s across the board, with Cirque the only one not investing due to the fact he is the AWPer, wants to get the big green up. But no flashes, which means they need to do what they did on the second round of the game, which was find some miraculous kills, collapse onto that B bomb site. They can do the same. They can do it anywhere on the map, and it feels that A is going to be the players. 3 players through connector, 2 over towards playground. A lot of pressure is going to be on Excurate in a minute. He needs to skip out.
Still finds one, though, doesn't he? And Bintet with the assist, 2 other kills, holds off the front side of Bathrooms. Ethan and Daps with their pistols will try and run down, and Bintet sets and ready. Remember, he's already had 1 4-kill round. He's now sitting with 2.5 if you want to include the assist, but 2 kills. A number of multi-kill rounds for Bintet. He knows they're on the other side of the smoke. He can certainly hear it. He'll go back, turn, and get both. Again, another 4 kills. Good positioning, good patience as well inside of that smoke, not to run through and give away an M4.
Yeah, look, the fundamentalist in me says that's a risk, that's unnecessary. You don't need to be making a play like that against pistols, giving away another gun. They've already got the AWP. Let's try not to give them an M4 as well to work with. But if it works, and Bintet leads the way now. Top fragger in the server. TyLoo, we're going to have to steady here. This is the kind of map we're looking at, 10-5, 11-4 halves.
Yep. NRG's done a tremendous job to find those 5 rounds early. I'm sure they want more, given it is their map choice. It'll be a lot of pressure to play against if TyLoo take the first map. When it is their pick, against this crowd especially, Fugly down towards sewers already, has Daps to go with him.
It feels like TyLoo won the war of attrition over towards the B site, pushing them away with the stack, and they're doing it again. They're playing 4 men over towards the B bomb site. They really want to have numbers over there. This is something they must have identified, something that they've realized NRG likes to hit the B side.
Ooh, that's ballsy. Somebody spotted one, therefore knew he was spotted in turn, and rather than falling back, they readdress. I don't think they needed to do that. I think they could have played off the information. They try to go out and get aggressive, and Didi will not relent. He goes on the other side, finds Ethan. They know they've tagged them up. They're going to force them back to A on this alone. They have to rotate back. Captain Mo has to get to Bintet sooner, but the problem is as well that Cirque with bomb is way back toward T-spawn. And Daps may have read this. He may have realized immediately that they are going to push back around. DD's got to be careful because he's done a good job to pull it back one direction. Somehow he gets the kill. That should have been Cirque all day long. Bintet trades off Daps, but thankfully, for the sake of NRG, the bomb is recovered. If Breezy wasn't there to trade that, they had a huge problem.
Back in transition to B now. Execute's got that in time for damage control. Problem is, if Fugly swings at the same time as Breezy here, it's going to be a very difficult shot for him to hit. Flash comes in, that gets the bomb across into the side. Oh, and now the rotation from Bentet is on its way.
Yeah, he didn't lead off toward window, which sometimes you may do if you anticipate B, so they didn't know exactly where this was going at all. It forces the wait, because Excurate can't peek on his own, and even when Bentet gets there, he is on his own. He gets taken down immediately. It's a 6th round for NRG. Money enough to force absolutely on the TyLoo side. Tough force. 2 of them in full buy conditions, and 3 of them not really.
Yeah, it's a position where they have to force. I agree with you that maybe too much aggression. The desk touched on the fact that they need to be aggressive and they need to disrupt NRG as much as humanly possible.
Times
so they can't
to do it, though.
Exactly. And DD, he is so lucky to get away with that kill on Cirque. That should never happen. When you push and you get information like that, until the bomb is called, until the site is being, you know, swarmed and taken over, you should play to contain. You shouldn't play to be so frag hungry. In that situation, he got very, very lucky with that kill. Now it is a bit of a change up. Still 3 players over towards B, and they really want to contest for sewer control. Bentet in the connector and Excurate with the AWP over towards bathrooms will be smoked off, and Long is where he's going to find himself a duel. Ethan, Breezy, and Cirque coming his way.
Excurate still looking. Can't hit it. He's not on his form that we've seen throughout the whole event so far, and gets caught running. Nothing he can do in that position. Didn't elect to turn around and try and defend himself. Thought maybe he could get away. That's proven wrong, as they go down 2 men as well, losing Bintet. So the impressive AWP of Excurate somewhat absent. And Bintet, who has been absolutely gone, which is a problem now for TyLoo.
Now, just to note, NRG did not have sewer control. They have connector control, but that will make them hesitant to rotate back through sewer to B. As you can see on the map right now, all 4 members are posturing towards this A bomb site. TyLoo don't know that. The attack comes in, 2 members on the side, the 3rd not far away, swinging out with 2 big kills from somebody there. That might be enough.
Good shot back from Fugly, however. His second not to be outdone, and now it's on DD to try to get back to the site. Doesn't want to overcommit inside of the smoke, and bomb is outside, just recovered now. Not spotted when he gets in. Getting to truck now actually could catch them off because Fugly's not ready for it. He anticipated that was clear. Bomb does get committed to, and that allows Cirque somehow to get away because he easily could have been caught by DD. Had he peeked out slightly sooner. Cirque's on an AWP. He's forced out by the Molotov. DD's not aware of it. Oh, what a shot! That reaction from his perspective must have been lightning to see him above the van.
How does he hit that? The kid's on fire today. He started real strong, and hitting that shot, he got tickled with the Molotov. It looked like DD heard it. It looked like he heard the ticks away. So at that point, he realized he must be playing around the bomb box. We're going to see it here. Was Bentet not making a kill that he maybe should have? Somebody did really well there. He wants to be so aggressive. Once you note that, once you know it, here it is. Here's the shot, Matt. Oh, felt like he had all time in the world there. I know it was in slow-mo, but still felt like he had all the time in the world. Last round of the half, 7-7. Let's see who takes the lead going into the second. TyLoo scrapped together a buy. UMP's out once again. Deagle's on the board. Haven't seen any shots from them just yet. And Bentet on that CZ75. So NRG have done fantastic in this first half. They don't look like they've been sweating too much. The things that have worked for TyLoo have been gambles. They've been stacks. They've been risks.
Excurate. Having the last round slip away despite being in contention, left to just a Deagle. And he'll try to hold off from the park side. Cirque, meanwhile, still waiting to see if he'll reappear. He'll watch it with the wand. Bintet sees the shadow. Daps doesn't really care. Walks around and checks it.
That's a really potential huge, that's a missed flash.
Yep.
Yeah, the nerves of TyLoo are showing, especially in duels that they'd normally be making. Flashbang getting missed. We don't want to see that kind of stuff on this grand final stage.
Somebody with 1 plus the assist. Ethan, great shot to DD. No need for him to really slide out from the box. Anticipates the headshot given. Oh, hang on. The fact that he saw the shadow, it nearly caught him out, but now he's got the AWP Execute. If there's ever a time to show up with that weapon, it's here and now. 19 seconds. They're going to run this to B. They have to plant almost immediately on arrival. They have about 8 seconds when they get in the site, and Captain Mo can easily hold them off. The problem is he only has the Deagle. He peeked early. I was going to say, fair enough, because Excurit's got one shot already. Spotted the head, but couldn't get the shot back. Ethan returning it, manages to get on the plant with 4 seconds. That's exactly the time you have to be on the plant. Missed shot. What? It landed, but didn't kill. And now Excurit knows he's hit him, goes to the Deagle, but Ethan knows where he is. Doesn't matter. Pull it back, and TyLoo win the half.
Defuse will come in once again. Some just shaky decision-making there by TyLoo. All Captain Mo had to do was sit, wait. As soon as the bomb got planted, poke your head out, make the kill, you win the round. But more pressure applied. Excurit stepping up, finishing him with the Deagle. Getting 8 rounds on the board for TyLoo. That's going to take us into the second half, and we're going to follow this one up after the break. Stick with us.
Well, it's, as you'd expect, close between these two teams. TyLoo in front of their home crowd do have a slight advantage, but that's coming off a CT side on a map that is CT-sided, and the lead is not that significant. It is 8-7 as they swap over on Overpass. But a discussion between IEM Pet and the admins. I imagine that's probably communication-based, team speak perhaps. We are getting confirmation there's a headset issue. I imagine during the halftime that was discovered when he was trying to get his input toward them.
Do you think they're the most common issue we have?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think the headset issue, or the team speak, which blows my mind. But look, I agree with the sentiment of, sure, TyLoo, they're in the lead, but they were on the easier side of the map, right? You have to take that into consideration. This is where we're going to see the level of preparedness from these guys. We were going to expect NRG to have a better T-sided strategy-wise. They are more prepped on this map. It's one of their best maps for sure. well drilled. You can see the fundamentals. You can see the decision making was definitely there. But what did TyLoo have when their default doesn't work, when their set piece doesn't come through? Which individuals are there to make some kills? Because somebody has had some shaky decision making at best. Xcurate not hitting all the shots that we've...
No, come to see this event, come
Sure.
to expect, I suppose.
I didn't think we'd be seeing that. Well, I didn't want to see the dabbing. What I meant was the NRG shirt, but still talking through the mic problems right now, so hopefully we get that fixed any minute.
Lots of static. So here's something interesting. I don't know a lot about sound engineering.
Let's get Ben on the phone.
Well, this is where I'm going with this. So I flew home. Obviously, Ben is Canadian. He lives back in Canada now after being in Germany for quite some time. I flew home from Belo Horizonte with him, from Brazil all the way to Toronto. Belo to Sao Paulo, anyway, whatever. Point is, I was with him for a good portion of the day, and we were talking about noise-canceling headphones because I just bought a different set, and I was wondering about the technology. And he said it's easy to cancel it out. You basically play a reverse, the opposite wavelength to the ambient noise that you're trying to disclude. That's why peaking noises like people yelling and stuff are harder to cancel, because they're not predicted and not read by the program. But he said the hardest thing, and what they've been trying to do, and the reason I bring this up is because DAP said lots of static in their mic, is they've been trying to actively create noise-canceling microphones, meaning that it'll cancel that same ambient noise, but pick up the voices coming through by the same principle, which is a lot harder to do because obviously you cut out part of the input.
Sure.
So it's actually super cool. I don't know all the science behind it, but like if they pull that off, that's really cool, because then it takes out the problem of a player holding open his mic and getting crowd noise and caster noise, etc.
You have to be calibrated to all the voices, but the voice right now leading the charge is Captain Mo and BenTech going up the connector stairs here, getting information, making sure the CTs don't have any of their own. Breezy played aggressive early towards Fountain and spotted one, and that was enough to drop him all the way back to long. Just spotted the top of the head there, did BenTech, and through the wood, there's a tickle of damage. Puts Ethan down to 89, but it will be the B hit. They have the utility to do this. This smoke will be going off towards Heaven. There's a Molotov as well. That's usually thrown over towards the barrel's position. It will. Pushes Fugly back, and that leaves pressure on Ethan, who also makes the wise decision to drop back and play behind the smoke while it's come in. The T's push in with the Glocks. They get nice and close, catching Ethan off guard. He'll go down, and the B-bomb site open for business.
Fugly still holding from jungle, has Cirque on the opposing side, but he can't get out, trying to spam through the boards, and rightfully so. Somebody's on the other side of it, and very, very low on HP. He's only got 6. In fact, this BenTech still watching the flank. Breezy in front, tagged up. He knows it. He could hear it. He tries to find the fight. He'll just hold the door. That's all he has to do at this point, but that's not easily done. What a shot from Breezy, because not only that, Fugly gets TD in the sight. Captain Mo's got to swing back. Retake's pretty much done. Somebody has nowhere to go. He's the low HP player, panicking and spraying, even against Breezy, who's low enough on his own. And again, the defuse comes through before the kills commence. Conclude.
Look, just some real questionable decision-making by TyLoo to throw themselves into duels. It was clear that Mo was between a rock and a hard place there. He's either going to have to take the fight with the guys on the bomb site or finish off the squeaky door player, right, before getting onto that. But you would have taken the 1v1, and then you could have given yourself room to move. And he's run in, he's dropped. It's not his fault by any means. It's just one of the key duels which we did see go down, and right now they will opt to upgrade 4 Deagles. Flashbang on somebody, and BenTech just keeping the Glock. Quite interesting there. Flash will come out, keep them all at bay, which also means that they didn't get all of the information that they might have wanted because they weren't in the open. So maybe spotted 1 or 2 players there, but definitely not all 5, as now the caravan of attack moseys on up through the bathrooms and the banana. The Deagles are deadly at this range. 1 bullet's all it's going to take to the head of Fugly here to drop him. He knows it.
Cirque swinging out does get DD. Fugly avoids the flash. Gives himself more than enough time to reset and get his aim ready when the approach comes in. Takes down 2 so far, runs out of ammo. Ethan is there to make sure BenTech can't do any damage in return. Keep in mind this will now be 2 pistol rounds for NRG and 2 subsequent anti-ecos in success. They got 3 in a row, all on defuses, mind you, but there was an early buy. All on defuses in the first half.
I question the Deagle upgrade going into a first gun round, because as you can probably see in a second, Captain Mo does have an AK, but the problem is he doesn't have head armor. Xcurate only has a scout, and utility-wise, there's only 2 smokes and 4 flashes on the board. That's not really enough to pull out
anything
piece.
crazy.
Yeah, you're just going to have to rely on getting kills
There's
and trades.
tons of utility on the reverse side of things as well. I correct myself. I said 2 pistols for TyLoo. I meant to say 2 pistols for the CT side. Right, but there's different conditions that apply given that we've got an early buy again this time versus 2 diffuses. There's slightly less money, as you pointed out with the utility.
Yeah. So they did a lot of damage early, and that's enough to keep NRG's aggression honest. It has drawn a rotation over towards the A bomb side as well. But TyLoo are just opting to find kills here, and somebody, we know how aggressive he is. He isn't able to get the kill, but DD will finish it off, and pushing on in.
We've lost track of Fugly, though.
Yeah.
Execute's got to check it.
Oh.
All red.
Nice.
All struck as well. Gets the M4. Would rather have that than the scout. Somebody was smart to run in the bathrooms and not overcommit to the duel either, because that leaves
There we
alive.
go.
It's 2. They overrun the site. Ethan's got to run away and try and save
Look
the
at
gun.
him. Look how hungry he is, Matt. The bloodlust continues through the smoke. This is what we need to see. Somebody needs to come alive. Relatively quiet in the first half. It's a huge round to come alive. Just a note, the fact that so many players from NRG did stay alive in the previous rounds, or the previous round, means that it should be just enough money to go for a buy. Ethan will probably be able to drop this Famous and upgrade into something else. Cirque should have enough money on the board to get a decent buy in his hands. Daps is the only one in the danger zone. Breezy's kind of there, but the CT side, you can get close range angles and use the UMP. So many weapons now in Counter-Strike that can be applied as long as you have, I guess, the right plan, the right teammates in place. Anything can work nowadays.
Not far off. It seems that way. It seems like everyone's all over the place sometimes. Then it seems like anyone's on point in others. 9-9. TyLoo discuss how their approach will go. They've got the advantage given that there's only that one FAMAS saved over. You mentioned the bloodlust, but there's no need to have overcommitted in that last round given that they're still trying to build up their own economy and they'll want to keep that in the best possible condition given that this isn't their map choice, given that arguably they are still, despite it's 9-9, playing from behind given the conditions of the map.
Oh, wow. We missed that. They just did the boosting connector, which sees through to water. Now, definitely not used all the time. One of these things that gets thrown out quite rarely.
But Daps gets information on that, and he now pushes knowing that they didn't spot anyone. He's already outside toward Monster. Bintet has to be ready for that push. He's got him. Okay, we don't see it on camera, but that's an important kill just to keep options open, and because Bomb's down toward T-stairs, Daps could have easily started to push them over toward the A site.
Yeah, just to note
Breezy blocked by his teammate. He just walked into that. He walked in and his teammate blocked him. He literally committed suicide.
Well, not ideal, but somehow 2 more kills come in. The B-bomb site is open. Benta is going to get in there with Captain Mo and establish control, and the utility that Benta has will be enough to mitigate a couple of those angles, so we should be able to plant safely. The CT's hurrying on over as quickly as possible. All 3 will be coming through CT spawn. But where Captain Mo has found himself in is a very good position here. Just has to hit the shots.
Shot back out from Cirque. You're right, just had to hit the shots. He gets hit instead. So too now the shot toward Bintet falling apart in an absolutely catastrophic fashion. Even with Breezy, maybe perhaps doing it sacrificially and praying towards some deity because it comes back to work out for NRG. And now everything I said about money and TyLoo playing this smart, gone.
That's a crazy round to go down. This is getting into that territory when we did see the TyLoo versus NRG situation. TyLoo versus VP situation go down earlier in the tournament. There was so much chaos across the map that it was kind of hard to keep up. There was duels with the lion's share of players over towards A, and then the information plays that were going down towards, here's that block kill that you get to see, Matt. Yeah, so the Molotov spread. He goes to move. Teammate says, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
You're taking this one for the team. And then somehow they still trade off efficiently and win the round. So when you have a blunder and still win, you've got to be smiling and having a giggle about that one. Can't be hanging the head too low. AWP will come out in the hands of Execute. Daps and Breezy are deciding what they want to buy. They haven't invested just yet. They can drop an AWP across the Cirque if they want to, because they've just got 3 free AKs, so their money is blossoming. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's right after they did great work to break the economy down of NRG. The last round, they stayed alive themselves. They win that last round, and they actually build the surplus, and NRG on the CT side are still digging themselves out of a deficit. They've just gifted so much to NRG in that last round.
I just want to touch on why that opening boost kill from Ethan was so important, because you saw how it forced the hand of TyLoo towards long. So you know at least 2 players have to be towards connector, and you know that it was there's the Aussie boy and the New Zealand lad there from well, they live here. They were from Beijing. They've come down for ChinaJoy. They've come down to watch them Counter-Strike.
Pretty sick,
Yeah.
as you were saying.
Just the point is, one kill, what it forced TyLoo to do. So this is why it got very confusing, because TyLoo's plan probably was going to be a little bit different, but once they lost the opening kill, once they identified where the FAMAS was and the fact that it had to be boosted, that's 2 players automatically. They went for the quick play towards long. As soon as they got into a little bit of danger, things slowed down, and then that rotation where the CTs came in, the trades came out, the flashes were used very well. Forced TyLoo over to B. So they were playing the rotation off the information they had well, but Mo not to get a kill in that situation, I don't know if that's the nerves. I don't know what that is. He should have at least had 1 in that situation. And then the dink instantly onto Bente as soon as he pokes his head out from that corner. Great work there from NRG to grab a round from the clutches. But we're going to get back into it now. Teams are saying they are ready and raring to go.
Well, just an issue, as is the case in such a venue, of noise. That's kind of where I was going with that microphone
Sure, yeah.
canceling. And specifically where he said static, I was wondering if they were actually experimenting with it yet again here. I know they have used it in the past in very minor levels and whatnot. So Fugly down towards Sewer will immediately put an incendiary in place. DD out toward water, caught off by Ethan, already on the boost.
Another boost this time around. Different position though, still same result. And this time, TyLoo aren't forced into a decision. They're going to stay slow. To lose a player so early and not even have a chance to trade, it's quite devastating when you look at the stat line for TyLoo being the highest percentage rate team at trading in the tournament. I mean, they normally do that very well, and that's how they get into bomb sites and get into rounds. So they're going to have to go out with a bit of a search party to see if they can isolate somebody and not the player.
Anybody. Fugly tagged 60, has to back away. Flash to preserve himself. Discourage anyone who dare attack. Oh, and Xcurate very patiently watching the 2 connection points to the B site. Access points, if you want to call it that. Mo will now enter and take the initiative. Xcurate getting closer. This does, in fact, with 22 seconds, need to speed up because they're going toward B, a man down, and they've got no choice. As soon as any utility's thrown, the full rotation comes in. 3 players en route from the A site. They need to isolate Breezy faster. If this stays with 5 players alive, they're going to have problems. Oh my goodness. It nearly worked out that it was a double kill. It works to now be a trade that works in the same result, if you will. It was a 2-2 because the lineup, in fact, meant somebody's had to spray through his teammate. Bomb was still planted in all of this, so Xcurate has a chance. Misses the first shot. That may take it away, but somehow finds Circle. Oh, I thought he had time. He does have the information from Intet. He gets back through Monster, and he refuses to go down without a fight. Fugly's tapped it and gone aggressive. He'll get it. It's NRG that's going to find 11.
The fact that they steady there is very positive signs for NRG in the chaos.
He doesn't have a kit. Okay, he does have the time. I lost. I couldn't hear the beeping there for a second.
So just to note, Cirque leading the way, 21 kills, 16 for Breezy, 14 for Daps, 14 for Ethan, 12 for Fugly, the hero there, just finishing off in the 1v1 against Bentet. On the other side of things, we're looking at Bentet leading the way, 20 kills for him, DD 16, 13 on somebody who's had more of an impact in the second half. Extra at 12 and Captain Mo on 7. Pistol upgrade right now. They will be able to buy in the next because the loss bonus is building, and they have had those bomb plants come in, which helps with the money situation. So through Connector getting as close range as personal, we'll flash on out and take sewer control. Ethan will be the man to receive, M4 in hand. Not a duel he has to take, and before the flash comes in, he's going to back on off. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome. Now it's going to come on in. Up, sandbags very quickly. No, back and forth. Misdirection, confusing me, and I can see everything, so that's probably explaining the rotation and the very passive play from NRG over on that A bomb site. This is fundamentally the correct decision. You know, you sit back, you play for information, you use the range of your rifles. The thing is, if the pistols can get up close and personal, one flash comes in, it holds you at bay for long enough, you get run over. Little Zerglings rushing on in off that flash, and now a lot of pressure on this A defense.
Fugly with the angle to try and control from behind truck. Can't see through the flames, far too bright, staring at the sun essentially in this case for all intents and purposes. He still has managed to find somebody though. Daps and Cirque each with a kill. Only one in response from Execute. He's now gone. Breezy on the flank and pretty straightforward to the end. No bomb plant. 4 players alive. NRG go up now by 3 rounds on a total of 12.
Flash was perfect, gave them a chance to get up close and personal, but they decided to sit back and take the jewels from a less advantageous position. And easy as that. The cleanup crew comes out of the A bomb site, mops them away. NRG are in a very powerful position now, looking solid on this CT side, not looking flustered at all. They're trading efficiently. They're playing very good Counter-Strike. Always playing off each other, it seems. Never without a flash from a teammate, never without a player to trade, always doing something as a unit. And that's what Counter-Strike's all about, unless you're simple. You can see here that TyLoo aren't establishing a pattern. They haven't had a chance to establish a real default. When your first gun round is off the back of somebody getting multi-kills, that's not a strategy, that's a plan. And that's a plan that's come to fruition, which isn't always going to be the case.
Beat show. Both ways that does go, but the crouch in position for Ethan's better off, better served. Yeah, absolutely right. The kill's coming back in return, more so from Execute. Captain Mo gone. They know now Breezy's behind the barrels, but watch the smoke because that's peculiar. They can't do anything of it. No Molotov to be thrown in that direction to flush him out. He'll give it up. He'll concede it. They may overcommit to checking it. So the Molotov, I take it back, was in the air as I spotted the fact they did not have any left in their pockets. But Breezy still finds Bintet. They're slow on going. 37 seconds, and he's got the bomb down.
Come on, TyLoo. You have a chance there to be in transition. Force the CTs to rotate around the map. Instead, they stayed in limbo. They put themselves in a very weird environment, and now all the pressure has fallen on Execute, whose only hope is to hit 3 miracle AWP shots, and he knows it's a tall task, and he's going to hold on to the AWP. He's going to live to fight another day. But the chase should come in. NRG have built enough of an economy right now to allow them to go more aggressive. They're not going to do so. 1 player and 1 smoke. Enough to stifle what was a number advantage.
With that, NRG continues the lead. 3 to go. Again, their map choice. They're running away with the CT side. The only rounds that TyLoo have. I should say only round, excuse me. At 8 at halftime. Was round 3 early by bomb detonation. We talked about the fact that they could have easily cracked the half wide open early in their favor, and then boom, lost to an eco. A 4-spy, if you want to call it that, but certainly lesser weapons. So getting aggressive, Fugly has the run toward the fountain. He'll have Daps alongside of him. The rest go over toward B, and Fugly wants to try and peek toward the stairs. Perhaps thinks better of it. He doesn't have the AWP. That is Cirque, and Cirque toward B. We don't see the op on B as commonly anymore. It's so easy and practical to get aggressive on the bathrooms, and it's very applicable to hold long with it. It's exactly that, a long corridor in which the scope has its benefits, but it's still viable toward Monster, and I have said that for a long time. We used to see it all the time in double op setups.
It's used quite early to go for a pick toward B, like sandbags. You can post up there and get them as they're pushing through the tunnel. Same for Monster. If a teammate will flash you in, you can take a long-range duel because normally 1T is playing over towards that side of the map, just mitigating any aggression, and he's normally with an AK, definitely not an AWP, so it's favorable in those scenarios. But he isn't going to be offered up anything early. Will remain on the B bomb site with the big green in hand, and that is leaving Daps and Fugly over towards A, and Execute, he wants to go hunting. He wants to see if he can find something, find some magic. If he can get a kill on the A bomb site, that will force a rotation from B and allow this 3-pack to poke their heads on out the Monster tunnel and put a lot of pressure on Ethan.
Ethan, yeah, he's got to make sure he's got this timing right.
There is no flash in play, so it's just a dry peek.
Smoke still down. Execute will not be able to do anything running through. He's in fact not even with him. He's going to try and swing in late from the Monster.
Just save again.
Excuse me, the sandbag's position as it all fell apart. Breezy with 3 on that, and you can't even save that AWP. That's gone 14-9. Breezy gets 4 kills.
I don't understand why he wouldn't just opt to save and do the best he can holding onto that weapon. He's left with 3,600. That means someone has to drop him an AWP if they want another AWP. And whoever does that is going to have their economy completely blown open and won't be able to afford anything of their own.
Crowd trying desperately to get their team back into it. The TyLoo chants come through.
Need a bit more than the will of the crowd, I think, because this is a very flat T half. It's obviously not all grim because this is the map pick of NRG. But the worrying sign for me is the decision-making for TyLoo. We know that there is the communication issue between the Indonesian players and the Chinese. We know that they have to speak between themselves in the native tongue and then throw out a couple of English words to bridge the gap. And that is why we did have such a messy game against VP. I think both teams obviously making a lot of mistakes. Entertaining. Definitely not the prettiest game of Counter-Strike. Let's see if they've solved the puzzle. Let's see if they have an answer to any of these questions that NRG are throwing at them.
DD still toward Monster the boost again. This time it's Ethan. He'll fall off of it. And certainly hear the utility outside of that position. There's no need to commit. They've got information. Somebody still waiting back toward the playground with Mo and Bintat working out from connector, but somebody's not advanced really far enough to give them any additional information from his position. So instead, he'll throw out a flash, smoke toward bathrooms, and then they swing in. Spray through from Bintat. Certainly reveals his position. Probably will be behind him. No one directly in the A site. They're almost going to play this long and allow them to work up, but so far, no commitment in that direction other than just the one player. Bomb's still over toward B.
Just to note, while they're posturing in this default right now, Bintat has only had 3 kills in this second half and 1 for DD. And they were leading the charge on the first half for TyLoo, so them cooling off.
Perhaps even more telling, they still are leading the charge on the scoreboard, despite that.
No one's catching up. No one else is doing any damage.
Only 8 kills for Captain Mo. Push from Fugly. He's timed this very well. He knew that they were toward the bathrooms. He now knows that they've fallen away. They had so much information from the connector position. Here he comes, in from behind. Gets only 1 so far, manages to vanish, to disappear. That slows them down, and the damage done onto DD as well is significant as Ethan and Breezy just have to wait at this point. TyLoo seem like they're lost on this T side. They can't get map control. They're certainly not forcing the rotations in their favor. And once again, they'll just get shut down and picked apart as Fugly sprays through. Not even so much at this point looking for the kill. Sure, he is, but it's not important that he gets it. He's just holding them off. And somebody has to stay alive here, by the way. They're going to try and push him. He does. He keeps the AK because otherwise he had no money.
Look, there's no reason that the CTs couldn't have gotten his face a little bit earlier and taken away that gun. At this point, their economy is flush. You got to be happy when everybody's still sitting above 6K after a full buy comes in. So no matter what happens here, you're still going to get another gun round in the next. But maybe a change of pace for TyLoo. Maybe throw in the chaos. Maybe throw in a bit of a random element, because right now, as you mentioned, no map control. They're not trading. I guess you can force trades. If you go fast, you go together. But Fugly opens the round up, gets a kill and gets away, drops a smoke, and the T's are definitely not going to be pushing through that from Underpass. Now Cirque gets it easy as that. Jump on in, he says. I'll take those kills day in, day out, and this is just looking abysmal from TyLoo as it falls apart, leaving them in a 3-on-5. An individual here needs to step up with a miraculous play, with a miraculous opening, if they even want to get onto a bomb site. And the low HP of DD, normally one of the more aggressive players of the unit. It's going to be towards the back of the pack with bomb in hand. So more pressure on Captain Mo and Execute here. There are 3 players at the A site. Flash is going to come out from Fugly's hands as soon as they get contact. Here it comes.
Daps ready. Spots it immediately. Bomb down as well. All too easy with the shadow showing 16-9. It seemed all too easy in the second half for NRG. They started the momentum swinging in their favor by winning a forced buy, and they never looked back. A single round achieved only by TyLoo when they were on the attack, and the first map, as was their choice, is in the books. Silencing the crowd, I have to say as well.
Things have definitely quieted down out there, definitely on the scoreboard as well for TyLoo, but we'll be back with the analysts after a quick break to check out all the matches action.